Generally, Swamiji used to mention, if you just live for yourself, it's life. Everybody lives. If you can live for others, how much you can live for a larger cause? 1%, 10%, 100%, like that. That is the mission. Otherwise, it's just life. Everybody has to live. They live. So then most of time, energy, everything goes looking after their own life. So if you can live for others, any help that is, like you all help for the mission also, that's you also come under that you have a mission. When you help me do the mission work, you all assist. So that is mission. Means universally, we don't simply consider that somebody has to be my blood relation, then only I will praise them or give them something or think them anything. So all of you, they need not be my blood relation, but still all of you are mine, as good as my children or something like that. So that type of universal consideration is the mission. Otherwise, usually people will be their own blood relations. That's what we call it as narrow-minded. Their thinking becomes narrow and narrow and narrow. So that's what happens. So when you overcome this, when you practice sadhana spiritually, you become more universal. That's known as the pradakshina. Considering the idol as the absolute divinity, so you go around 1 round or 3 rounds traditionally to show your highest reverence that you are my divine. So that is the significance going around. There is a beautiful legendary story also. Shiva, Parvati and their children Ganesha and Swami Kartikeya. Once Narada gets a very rare fruit, mango fruit, it's known as the fruit of knowledge. He brings that to give to Lord Shiva. And Shiva gives it to his consort Parvati. And Parvati thinks that I must give this to my children. But then Narada says that this only one person can have it as totally the one fruit. It cannot be cut into 2 pieces and given. So how to distribute? There are 2 children, Kartikeya and Ganesha. So then Lord Shiva gives a suggestion, you put a competition. Whoever goes round the world and comes first, round the globe and comes first, he will get this fruit. But so immediately Kartikeya sits on his peacock chariot and starts flying in the air. But Ganesha had nothing. His vahana, chariot, was only the rodent. So he knew that with that he couldn't go around. He keeps wondering what to do. Then he asks Narada, because Shiva and Parvati are my parents, they are the lords of the universe. So if I go around, so will it be considered that I have gone around the universe? Can I be able to get the fruit? Narada says, yes, definitely. When you consider your parents as divine, and that too, your father, Shiva and Parvati, they are divine. So then quickly Ganesha goes around their parents, his parents 3 times and gets the fruit. So, and it goes further. Then Kartikeya gets annoyed that I have been cheated. He comes to the world, earth, and he settles there in the pilgrimage center known as Palani in Tamil Nadu. So on the hills, that's how the story of that temple is. That is the Sthala Purana, they call it. A history or the legend of the place. So that's how Lord Kartikeya is there Payani. Payani is the place. Payani. You all know. So finally, the moral is your mind's consideration, your faith is what matters. So based on that, the things will appear to you in the same way. Yeah, during narrating my tapas experiences in His Master's Grace, the first book that came out, the questions were asked. I was telling, you might claim that I saw God. That can happen in any three of the stages usually I have explained. How that happens, your mind, your consciousness resolution. The first stage is imagination, bhakti margas, devotional paths. First basic idea is, due to imagination, the mind has gone out of control, and with imagination only, using the same imagination, you try to make it single pointed, like this is God. You try to teach the child, showing an idol. So then it sits in the mind. So and then it starts visualizing that as God all the time. So anything that you start visualizing more and more repeatedly, so that picturizing becomes solid and solid. The more solid that the picture starts becoming, you get absorbed into that, and that starts appearing so real. So as it becomes more concentrated in that visualization, the next stage we can tell as the mental projection. The mind projects. You might feel as if the divine is come and sitting with you. Many sages, saints also have told, people like Surdas and all, like Krishna coming with him and playing around with him and then sitting and eating with him, Lord Krishna. For him that bhava, but these are not ordinary things. So slowly your bhava increases many folds. With that devotion means your mind gathers. And that means meditation is happening, unknown to you. If you are sincerely devoted, not simply going to temple just to eat some sweets, that is not the devotion. So this devotion is, wherever you are, your mind starts remembering the divinity only. So that is manifestation. Finally, when you are able to do tapas, when your mind gathers 100%, just before the merger, the divine's manifestation, that called. Manifestation will be as physical as this physical universe, world. So that strength of picture, what you all call it megapixels nowadays, that type of strength. So that is as real as you are seeing me in this physical body. That is the manifestation. In Sanskrit word known as Avirbhava. Avi is the spirit form, infinite form. Through the bhava, your own mental resolutions, that comes into existence in that form, divine. So that is that you got the darshan of divine. Like Swamiji had the darshan of Jangama sage, it was a manifestation that came. And none of other friends saw that. Many times people ask me question, what's the guarantee that only Swamiji saw, why that others did not see? It was his own manifestation, he saw. But important of seeing such a manifestation is transformation in the person. The world saw Swamiji going into tapas and transformation that happened. Means when you come across a personality, like you come to a yogi, the broadcasting is there, vibrations are flowing. But if you also have that type of devotion, faith, develop and cultivate, so then you become a strong receiver. Broadcasting and the receiver, both needs to be strong. Then the picture appears on the television, right? So that is how things happen. So when you have that devotion and faith, then you get transformed. Your life changes, your thinking, your understanding, everything changes. You're not the same person with narrow-mindedness. You are not the selfish anymore. And you try to see universally. You try to see yourself everywhere. So like that it goes on and on. Then you are able to see the divine. That is the idea of Bhakti Marga also. Like you all read that the divine God is omnipotent, omnipresent, is everywhere, in everything, as everything. But simply reading that won't be helpful. You have to practice in your consciousness that must appear. So everything when you see, your consciousness criteria must reverberate that it as a divine. Then you will feel that divinity all pervading. Otherwise it will be an ordinary microphone or ordinary chair. So you won't be able to remember that. Just only when in the temple or when you are listening to a talk, for a while your mind remembers, oh, God is everywhere, He is all that. But when it practically comes, we forget. That's what, as we were talking in the morning also about the sages, talking Ramakrishna's telling, while teaching Advaita, he told a story also. A teacher was teaching Advaita that God is everywhere, in everything, as everything. So one of the students was sitting on the banks of the river. Elephant was coming on the way. The elephant rider was also there. He was shouting, give way, give him. He thought, if the elephant is God, it should not be harming me. God is in me also, in the elephant also. But that didn't happen. The elephant came and he took it away and threw it. He was bruised and with fractured limbs and legs. He comes to the Guru, telling him, Master, Master, you said ki God is everywhere. But you see, I thought ki God is in the elephant also, but it threw me and broke my bones. Guru said, ki idiot, God is in the elephant rider also. So God was warning you to give way, but you tried to see God only in the elephant and forgot there is God in the elephant rider also. So just to tell that just by theory or reading books, you cannot visualize the Advaita, the divinity that's everywhere. It has to happen by practice, consistent practice of meditation and practice of experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Then only you can see the self everywhere. Yeah, whatever effort that you are going to put in this life, in this body, that will continue as a fixed deposit, it will be there. Means your mind picks up through that sadhana. If you are doing sadhana, so whatever your mind visualizes or picks up such habits. So when death happens, and the brain dies, mind gets detached. So whatever it is carrying as attitude or the acquired habits of the mind, so it spins. So intensity of thoughts forms. Based on that only, next incarnation happens. So that's what many times I have explained. Imagine, like my Guru used to tell, you can choose a husband or a wife, but by the time you want to choose parents, you are already born. For that you should have done some good karmas previous life, that some pious who are spiritual, that you are born to them and you get trained by them, their attitude, you get that inclination also, and you will be bringing a basic nature also, and you will be blessed with such circumstances, such things, all such things are all there. Then you also develop further. So from childhood, early childhood itself, you develop such inclination towards spiritual truths. So that's what, that will continue. So it will never go waste, whatever sadhana you do. So like that, soon you will be able to do a tapas and become self-realized, if you continue in that one. But one thing, if your mind is becoming more and more non-violent through sadhana, then definitely an elevated birth or a human, in this creation, human birth is the highest, rarest of rare gems, which has a well-developed brain. You are able to discriminate the real, unreal, permanent and impermanent. So that can be guaranteed. Non-violent means, what I mean, the 6 Arishad Vargas, the extreme greediness, extreme anger, extreme attachment to materialistic world and false pride, jealousy, like that. All the extreme stinginess. These 6 things, whoever has got these things in their mind is the first casualty. Their mind becomes violent because of these things. If one has overcome through sadhana this thing, then the mind would have become non-violent. If it is non-violent, definitely gets elevated as a better human, in fact. To everybody the tests will come. So that's when it says whether you are okay or not. When you try to do a paratha, you will test it that whether it is cooked inside also properly. So that's when you are a perfect cook. Otherwise, you simply put like that and you give it. So inside it will not be, it will be raw atta only. So like that, the divine always tests for eligibility. You are ready to go for the self-realization or liberation. You should be simply telling in the mouth is not enough. Everybody will tell you who all want God. So I want God, I want God. Then Jesus story also, so many saints story come. And he takes that person and put him inside the water. So after a while he is taken out and asked, how much you are desperate for breath, for your breath. The day when you become desperate for God, then you will see God. So that eligibility is always tested for everyone. It keeps happening, you see. Your life with me, you see, it may be 20 years or 25 years ago that you saw. So all the time tests keep coming, tests keep coming. When tests come, when they are able to pass and they become more devoted to the Guru, they stick to the Guru, they are with the Guru. Otherwise, many people simply fall out and go away. They come out of curiosity and they fail in the tests when it comes. And they are dismissed from the university. That happens. So like that, tests definitely comes. Only then your quality is proved. If you call sincerely, see, if you have the cell phone and your SIM is international, so then you call, then the Guru will pick up. Otherwise, you are simply keeping one cell phone which doesn't have a SIM. Oh Guru comes, the ring doesn't go to Guru's cell phone. Here means your devotion and faith. So imagine Draupadi's devotion to Krishna was like that. It made him to manifest as a beautiful clothing for her. But it also took some time for her. The poet explains. In the poet's language, it's so nice to hear also. So could be imagination. In Dwaraka, Sri Krishna was restless that day. Today, Draupadi will be put to test. She will remember me and I have to go and protect her. But when she was brought to the court by the wicked Dushasana, it didn't occur to her to remember Krishna first. She went to Bhishma. And Bhishma failed her. He was a noble person, Bhishma, a Mahatma, great saintly person, but yet he defined the dharma, his duties to be tied with particular definition. My duty is to the king. I see my father's shadow, so without his orders, I cannot help you. Dronacharya also refuses. Her husbands refuse, all in the name of dharma. Means if we try to understand today, when she was about to be disrobed, before that her husband Yudhishthira had lost her in the dice game. And the contract was that she will become a slave to the opponent. At least Yudhishthira could have protested. She can be your slave, you can make her mop or dust. But who has given you the right to disrobe an woman? She is an woman first, she is my wife afterwards. We will protect her, he should have told. But they kept quiet. So like this is another thing. But then, until then, every time Sri Krishna was getting up in Dwarka, but Draupadi would go to somebody else and he used to sit back. Rukmini, Satyabhama, they were all puzzled. What's happening to Lord today? What's happening? No, something is not right. I am waiting for Draupadi to remember me. Then finally, when she realized, if at all anybody can help, it's only Krishna and nobody else. When that faith comes final, he comes or he doesn't come, so let it happen. So that's when the poet says, she left her sadis, palla, given up and remembered Krishna. The moment she remembered with such faith and devotion, that was there in her already. It just required a spark, and the manifestation of the divinity happened. So that type of faith and devotion needs to be developed in everybody. That's what the teachings will always be. Faith is taught in devotional path. So our gurus taught with all the total faith, you remember the name of Guru, the Guru will have to bless. He will have no choice, the divine. Even the demons, when they did tapa, Brahma had to come. But that's a different thing. He didn't have the wisdom to ask for liberation. Instead, they asked for siddhis and powers. So that's the illusion. So that type of devotion needs to be there. You see, you are here now. You have been listening to our answers, talks. Listening to that, you have to develop a faith. Yeah, what Babaji is talking is the truth. You don't have to have a blind belief. But at least in the beginning, you need to have faith. Just like we tell, when you went to nursery or KG school in the childhood, when the teacher said, okay, this is A, this is B, you took it in good faith. You never questioned, okay, why I should call this as A. That innocence of the mind, that's how you have to pick up. And then when you have that faith, divine is all pervaded and divine will protect us, he will be with us. So then you start loving God, you fall in love slowly. So that love can see you through always. Because love should be unconditional. When you love, even the divine cannot disturb your faith. That much of love you have to develop. So like Swamiji used to tell, even if the divine wants to cut you into pieces, you should get joined and come back to the divine, that type. So that is how slowly comes. By listening to the divine stories, that's how we all picked up from childhood. We got to read stories of how, like a book of Bhakta Vijaya is there, devotional, lot of devotee stories are all there. How they used to have faith and devotion when they were put to test, but they never gave up the remembrance of God, and finally how they were protected and helped by God. This type of stories in childhood we read. So our innocent mind picked it up sincerely. It just took that one. So if you read that type of books, that should be available in nowadays online. If you search, any devotional books will be available. So that will help you to cultivate and sustain the devotional faith path. So finally, it will depend on the strength of your faith and devotion. If you have that much of training and you have cultivated that devotion, one sight of the Master is enough. You fall in love. So that's what can see you through. Otherwise also, even sages like Vedavyasa tell, maintain a middle distance with the Guru. If you try to go too close, you are likely to take the Guru lightly. He will take it casually, just like he is also any other person eating some savories and drinking a cup of tea. That's all there is Guru. So you will not understand what the Guru can be. If you go too far away also, you are likely to be neglected because the Guru will be in his own samadhi. That's what happens. If you maintain the middle distance, somewhere on and off you try to be in touch. See, in today's world, communication is not a difficult thing. So much is there, WhatsApp is there, or emails are there. Somewhere, if you try to do that one, that will be helpful for you to cultivate that. But if you have that faith also, that can give you that connection with the Guru. Once you develop that, you should have it. Like for this, when other brothers of the Pandavas, Arjuna, complained to Krishna, Krishna, you are very fond of Arjuna all the time. You keep talking to him and you are so affectionate, but you don't show that affectionate to us. Then Krishna takes Bhima where Arjuna was sleeping. So look at it. He was sleeping, but in his respiration also, Krishna, 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 Krishna was going on. And Krishna says, it is not me who is holding him, he is holding me. That's why I am helpless, I will have to bless him like that. So that is how slowly learn and cultivation. I fully understand the difference in culture. As he was telling, we don't have such a religious background. So fortunately for us, since childhood we were brought up in such circumstances. But in spite of that also, it is the sanskara, vasanas finally which can bring. Sometimes you Westerners develop such a devotion and attachment to the Guru from thousands of miles distance and come running for that Guru. And those who are in India, our neighbors, they don't develop such attachment because they are attracted to the Western materialistic cultures. They try to follow the Western things and run towards the West. They don't know their own culture, their own devotion. So this happens. Somewhere you see what has made you all to come all the way to this remote village and to spend about 10 days with us, sitting, discussing this spirituality, devotional path. Both goes together, meditation, devotion, all these things can be so helpful. So that's how it can be helpful to you. You have to sustain, you have to maintain, you have to imagine. Your imagination, your creativity in the mind. It's my Guru, my thing. That cannot. Even sometimes like, so much of we developed like that, remembering him, the master, when he used to be scolding, you are trying to test me, now I am going to love you more. You have no power to disturb my love to you. I will love. Like that, it becomes a self-respect matter with the God also. Even the God should not be able to disturb your devotion or faith. That should be the thing. Just no need, just something, my pranams to you, or you keep talking to yourself as if you are talking to me, wherever you are sitting. Like we talk to idol. Like when I was young, in Mysore, when we were in the college day, early college day, in front of our home was a temple of Hanuman. Hanuman, Kartikeya, Ganesha, they were my best friends. I used to go around 2 hours, 3 hours. Mother used to be waiting, keeping the breakfast. Where has he gone, idiot? She would be anxious and irritated. Come on, don't you have the breakfast? But I would be talking to the idol. They were not simply stone idols for me. For me, it was live divinity was there. So that is the bhava that you develop into a highest bhava. So you talk like that to Babaji within yourself. You will slowly develop such attachment to Babaji and you will see Babaji within you. You don't need this physical body actually. This physical body is not important. What you think about Babaji is more important. That will see you through, sustain, or can give you liberation also. That is your faith. Yeah, bhakti also, you have to rise to that level. Bhakti means all the time your attention, remembrance, whatever you are doing, you are baking a bread, but your mind is remembering that divinity, that practice. So that's what is meditation. While trying to meditate also, you are taught by the master. So when your mind becomes quiet, that is the real worship of God, because mind has no third way. Either it is in this universe with its own imaginations preoccupied, or when it becomes quiet, it goes to its source from where it has come, to the ocean. The droplet goes back to the ocean. As it becomes more and more quiet and quiet, it simply goes back. Like remembering by a name, you are simply trying to make it single pointed. Even without remembering with a name also, if you become quiet, If you don't allow your mind to become corrupted with greed, anger, all these things, then it goes to your Guru only actually. Yeah, yes. Like teachings of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Adi Shankara and Ramana combined, it gave this insight, the one divinity, so many names. So you can remember in any name. That I will remember in this name. And maybe due to previous lives with the resolution, that mantra also came in the dream. Om Shivaya, Shiva Bala Yogindraya, Parabrahmanaya. So in my consciousness, when I am pouring water on Shivalinga or on Vishnu, anything, it is Shiva Bala Yogindraya, Parabrahmanaya, it keeps coming. So like that, the oneness that came. So the training that we got, the books that we got to read, the devotional stories we heard from our mothers, so all these were very helpful. That's why in my talks or answers, sometimes I have told 60, 65 years ago, we were so fortunate to have been born 70 years ago. When we were kids, we did not get exposed suddenly to the Western world so much, or scientific world, we can tell that one. It was totally a devotional world. So mind picked up that thing. Such things only and divine. So also scientifically it picked up. It was not a blind belief because there was no such intention of any materialistic gains that we needed. Simply we loved. So that's what important. So like for example, the day I saw my Guru, came back home and spoke to my mother, I told him I have found him, I need to go, I will go him. You have looked after me for 16 years, now that's enough. Now it's time that I will go. You must bless and send me. It was about a couple of hours we were conversing and she was trying to know what I meant, how I have been impressed or what is my idea. She was asking, do you know whether that yogi is a genuine yogi or what it is? What I said, naturally it came. I don't know whether he is a genuine yogi or a bad guy. But what I know is I have fallen in love with him. This is mine. I know that one. Nobody can disturb this. I will never regret it. Bless me. So like that. So these things were very firm. It's a matter of self-respect. That's what we learned from childhood about faith and devotion. So like that it has to develop and it works slowly. Listening to that one. Reading such books are important. Without going into unnecessary siddhis or miracles, one miracle that can happen is from the divine, from your faith. Your faith can work such wonders. So that is more important. But that is totally based on your faith and devotion. You also develop, you have to develop. Must not get attracted to materialistic world. So then it works. That's how it happened to me. I saw Swamiji in every idol, in every form of divinity. Yes, anybody can chant that one. That's universal and open. All can chant.
Number of times it's traditional in that?
Traditionally 108 times. If you can count and repeat that. And counting, don't be in a rush to finish 108 times. Slowly, peacefully, so that your mind sits on that. Concentrate. That is important. Your mind's attention is important. Then meditation will be smooth and very nice once you achieve that focus. Focus is very important. So anybody can chant that. Slowly you have to be careful that mechanically you are able to attend to the only when you are walking also. Should not faint or become so like this. Then gradually inside it starts remembering, but outside you are totally alert to these things. Like that you have to practice if a little bit needed. That will be helpful to bring down the restlessness and make it focused onto the thing. If you can see God in everything, there is no spiritualistic and materialistic. You try to see God means slowly acceptance. You put an effort to achieve anything in life. When it comes, then accept that. Don't go into a further greeting. Why this didn't happen? Why I got only one big ashram? Why I didn't get 10 ashrams? So give it, accept, and you will see this as surplus. My God, such a big. Always you will see God has given surplus for all of us. So the more than that we imagine. This example I keep telling, 50 years ago also when I went to ashram, my imagination was a small hut type of place, peaceful serenity, quietness that we loved always, peace, love, and a small water flowing like that. But when my Guru said, when I saw that was a big palatial building, my God. So instead of that, if I had imagined I should get a White House type of presidential palace, so then that building also would have been not sufficient. Oh, God has given me only this little palatial building, He didn't give me the White House. So that is the mind's acceptance. If you see a little bit, then you will see it is surplus, there is surplus all the time. That is the practice. Many times people have asked this question, I have told, like in your childhood you went to school, academically you wanted to get qualified. If you are educated, you could behave as a better person in the world, your wisdom works. So when you went to get qualified academically, you never considered that as a selfishness. Nobody told you, oh, you are getting educated only for yourself. So not for yourself. When you are educated, you can educate others also. So like when we did meditation, we did tapas. So today I am able to help you all without any confusion. Hundreds of questions you ask. We will never be confused. Whatever I know, I will tell. If I don't know, I don't know. If it is inconclusive, it is inconclusive. So like that, we are able to help others. So it was not selfishness. So when you get educated in the devotional path or meditation path, so you will be a better person, matured human being. 10 people might come for counseling to you one day when you are matured like that one. So that's how you have to practice. First you become perfect and then you can help others. That's when my Guru used to tell, try to become a perfect student first, you can become a Guru afterwards. Don't be in a rush to become a Guru. But you have a right to get educated, everybody. It's not to be considered as a selfishness. There are millions of reasons arising every day. Simply your wisdom has to work. Because all of you have seen this world for all 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60, 70 years. Life is never totally happy or peaceful in this world. Not everything that you would have wished, you would get it ever. Mixture, good, bad, you wish it comes, you wish it may not come at all. So these are all always giving you pain, unhappiness. That unhappiness is the grace. You see the human history always. When they were suffering, when there was bondage, when they realized we are not independent, they struggled for independence. We want to have our own rule. Why that one? That was not escapism. Somebody else coming rule our country, we don't consider it as our own rule. We want our own people to rule us. The reason is, if some other country comes, they will bring their culture, their philosophy, and they will try to destroy our culture, our philosophy, our beliefs, and would like to convert us into their cultures. So that is why we don't want that bondage. We want to be independently allowed, that we remember with our own culture, devotion. So like that, when you suffer, you understand, you realize. But these things may take time for humans. Not everybody understands. So some people, if you are given one time of meal and then I will keep robbing your ₹1,000,000, $1,000,000, you don't understand that you are being robbed your $1,000,000, you are being given only one time food. You are happy, oh, I don't have to work for this food, I am getting my food, now I can eat and just sleep. So that's when they continue to be in the bondage. Then the wisdom application happens, oh no, something is wrong. I'm not allowed to go in first class. They are asking me to come in only third class train only. So they are traveling in the first class. So like that, when the wisdom works, that means that is the grace. Divine is working out. The grace is flowing every moment. Our wisdom has to work if something is wrong. We are not happy all the time. This occurred to me as a young child also. Something is wrong. All the 12 months, 24 hours, it is not there. Even though everything is fine, childhood was comfortable, loving, caring, everything was nice, yet we missed something. It's an unknown fear, an unknown anxiousness. Why is this happening? So that's how the grace is there. We have to think. We have to work it out.